I got my first job at PVR. I used to sell popcorn, clean plates, and do stuff. Everyone was shocked. What? How did you come inside? And I had to support the family, right? We sucked. Things were hard, My parents were separated. My granddad was no more, and I was like the man of the family. Wait a minute. You are not 18. You are 17. We can't employ people who are 17. I was like, oh my god, I'm counting here. What do I do? Someone gave me tips of 20 rupees, and I realized, oh my god, we can actually get tips over here. My job was to sell and get as many tips possible. I would stay 1 2 hours extra just to get more tips. And with that money, I bought a course in handwriting analysis. In the final year of college, I decided to drop out of college.
So you came from that program and pitched another that 90,000 thing to
The
previous coaching program.
previous company ka founder, I gave him an idea. You're selling at 2025. Let's sell something for 90,000 1 lakh.
90,000. Yeah.
I will do the selling. I know how to sell,
Yeah.
right? And he had the infrastructure and stuff. I was good at pitching and getting on the stage and talking, right? I said, I'll do it for you. I was like, sure. And we split the money. And I was like, oh, and I think at one point I got 40,000 in one payment. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm seeing so much.
Mhm.
And I'm being honest, guys, because yeah, that was the situation I was in, right? Like we were at one point, we were like so, and I don't talk like this. People don't know. It's like it's so hard that there's a canteen called Indira Canteen. It's government subsidized canteen for 5 rupees and everything. They give food. We used to stand in a line with like government subsidized food. At that time, that was the scene out there. It was so hard. It was really hard. Again, one thing I won't exaggerate is my granddad had built a house long, so we had like a stable place to stay in. But apart from that, everything was a shit. So yeah, I pitched it to him, and yeah, we started fixing it. And few months later, things didn't work out because I was making a lot of money, a lot of money.
Lot of means.
I was making quite a bit. Like for example, if two people, so we had a discussion about certain splits, right?
Mhm.
And after I closed the client, he said, you know what, this is too much. I don't want to give you too much.
That yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he wanted to give me a very small check. I was like, this is not what we discussed.
Mhm.
This is not what we had discussed, right? And then he said, you know what? Something, he said a lot of things. Again, I'm grateful to him because he was the guy who gave me a platform.
Right.
Maybe there were some disagreements. God bless him, is still there. I wish the well for him. He gave me a platform and nobody gave me a platform. That was there. And then I came out of there. And again, I was left wondering, what the hell do I do now? But that is the place where I realized I can never work with anyone. I need to build my own stuff. I will never be at the mercy of it. And that's where the next part started off actually business.
So he did you.
Yeah, not a rich, but we had agreed on something. And when the money came, the client was he said something else. He said, nah, I can't give you so much. And I was like, shit,
So how much you were earning at that time?
decent, decent.
Okay.
So one thing is, I know it's weird, but so I'll tell you, Root, that time on an average, good month had become 30 to 40,000 back.
Okay.
This was way years back, 5, 6, more than 6, 7 years back, way back.
And how many courses you were selling at that time? At 90,000 courses.
So that would happen was monthly 1 or 2.
Okay.
So they would have 1 or 2 programs every month,
Mhm.
right? So apart from all the side thing, I would sell one course out there,
So
offline program.
okay.
You would go to centers. Back then, online was not a concept.
And how were you able to sell those courses?
So they had a tripwire formula. So they had a. So how it would do is it was a very call centerish system. They would get leads. We'd call people for a 3 day program out there, 3 day to 5 day program out there. Once the 5 day, they would call the people for a 3 to 5 day program and just leave it. I was like, you know what? Let's sell another level to those people on the last day. That is where I got that idea of it.
So how did you learn that we can bring the people for 3 day program and again sell them something on the third day?
So till the third day, I think See, I was an employee there. I was a salesperson with commission basis, do a little bit of training and stuff. So during that time, okay, I had the opportunity to attend something called National Achievers Conference by Success Gang. There I saw Rajiv Tagreja's program. This is 90 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, dude, I got a lot. All the other people I slept in that. Not all, but a lot of people's. But this guy was selling PACE program. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah, now online it is 5,000. Okay. But before it was offline in a hotel, that was 25,000 plus taxes. It was 30,000 rupees offline. And it said, you got to book 10,000 rupees right now. And I was like, I need to pay it. What do I do? I know I had 10,200 rupees. I swiped 10,000 rupees, came back. And just like, okay, I have 200 rupees. I don't know where I'm going to get the next money. But again, this guy gave me money from this venture. I put it there. And when after I did a PACE program that I saw him selling, and I was like, he was selling a 8 lakhs ka program.
Rajiv.
8 or 9 lakhs ka program. And I was like, oh my God, I can sell this. So let's sell it for 80,000. He's selling 8 lakhs, let's do it for 80,000. That's when I pitched the idea. Again, my boss also had come with that PACE program. Together we signed up. So yeah, that's where I got the idea and we started selling. And yeah.
So you got separated from that founder, and what happened after that?
That's it, I think. Never talked again, never looked back.
Mhm.
It was a pretty crazy incident out there. It was very painful because my thing was, what will I do on my own? I was scared, right?
You were dependent on him.
100%.
But after that, you realized that you can't be dependent on yourself. Or you need to have something of your own.
True. And one more thing was during that time, there was zero online exposure, dude. Zero online exposure. I didn't know the concept of online and everything.
Okay.
Everything was offline. This was 5-6 years back. There were people doing things.
2018 or
Huh. 17, 18-ish. 18-ish around that time.
Mhm.
Everything was online.
Yeah.
Offline. I didn't know what online was. I would see a lot of ads. I didn't know about Facebook marketing. I didn't know social media marketing. I didn't know you could sell online. And back then, people would do coaching over phone calls. Zoom was even a vague concept. They used to do something called Skype. Do you know Skype?
Yes.
We used to do something called Skype. So online was out of question out there. Everything was physical. So I had to go travel, take a bus, catch a bus, ask people, physically hand over copies, physically I'll come and dev. So that was the scene out.
Okay. Yeah. So after that, like, how did you get into the online stuff? And after that, what did you do then?
Cool. After that, through one of the contacts I had come there, met in that part of program, in that company, I got to meet another mentor. Okay. Kind of a mentor only, yeah. They were opening a networking organization. I don't want to say the name because again here also that happened, but a networking organization happened. Okay. And I got into that networking organization.
What is like the networking organization?
Okay, you know BNI? You know TIE, right?
Yeah.
Like TIE, another organization.
Okay.
We were building. And I got in as a core member out there.
Oh.
We are going to build this. We're going to build something big, dude. We're going to make it really, really big out there. Types.
Okay.
So I became a core committee member. From the second meeting, get together. We'd have weekly get togethers. From the second meeting, that's where I met, one of my mentors now, another one, Jagdish Ravas, he's the one who changed my life in a lot of ways. So he was the president of Bangalore Stock Exchange, super humble, super well connected. And he came in that organization as another co-founder and he blew it up. We went from doing it in dingy co-working spaces to getting contacts with direct WeWork founders, getting access to WeWork our startup network, right? WeWork, the whole thing. And this is where I saw, I was like, okay, networking, entrepreneurs, organization out there. How do you build communities? How do you get people out there? That's when this happened. And there I started doing workshops. I started getting into entrepreneurship circles. And that's where, again, Like I said, Jagdish sir was my mentor. I told, dude, I'll tell you wherever you go. He would go to college. I also wear a blazer, carry a camera, and tell him. He used to go to cool clubs out there. Not this party wala club, this, high funda people ka club. I would take a camera, go there and record him. Whenever I had a doubt, I would ask him, what do I do, sir? What do I do, sir? What do I do this here? Types. And that's where it's like, things started growing and nurturing and yeah, this stuff happened out there.
Okay. So, like, you traveled everything, everywhere.
Okay. Stick to him.
CEO of Wireless Stockings.
He was the president, but right now he owns a co-working space. He owns his own capital market academy. He's the chairman of a school. He's the chairman of a college. He's the chairman of a hospital. It's like he's very low key guy, but yeah, he's
So,
like
what did you learn from him?
interesting. Here are the things I take away from him. That's a very interesting thing. The first thing is integrity, trust.
Trust.
The level of equation which she and I is we've done transactions, we work together, nothing is on paper. Everything is just word of mouth, commitments and stuff, right? And the second thing, what I've learned is understanding the game of leverage.
Okay.
A lot of times, the best thing that can happen to you in life is meeting the right.
Right.
You know someone who knows someone who knows someone. Networking. And that dude has a all big network. He's not very big on social media. He's a little low key. He puts out content, right? Networks. Third thing is building exclusivity.
Exclusivity.
When you want to bring people close to you in your network, in your circle, when you hang out, be very shrewd, be very calculative of what kind of people you allow inside. Because when you have a lot, again, what I observed and learned, because when you don't have anything, people think this dude doesn't have anything, he might probably do whatever I want. Let me get job done. When you have a lot, again, people will come with the mindset of this dude has stuff, let me see what I can get. So you got to be really, really careful. And one of the principles that I have, which I've adopted from him, is be super humble and be super level of integrity. For example, I told you, right, I don't talk about numbers, how much money I make, how I bought a house, how much I have in bank, how much I do. So I don't talk it, I got it from him. Like an example, this is like a code of ethics which I learned from how to live, how to run a business, how to be a person, which I learned from him, which I embed. Like, for example, again, I hope he doesn't hate me for saying this, but he has transacted with at points because he was a president with pretty huge numbers. Even today, when we were launching his course, I said, why don't you tell people that I'll help you get this much returns? Why don't you tell people that I have accomplished this? He said, no, I will never give people the wrong impressions that, you see this now, people these days, $10,000, $15,000. Three secrets to make $10,000 in 4 weeks as a student out there. Yeah. So that's one code of ethics which I learned. And the next part is being a master at everything. Attention to details. One thing where I completely different from him is I'm a very, in certain things, indisciplined guy. Okay. You take a poster to him, the meticulous details with which he works is out of the fucking world, and that's why he has excelled. You take a poster and you say, hey, by the way, just, the spacing is less here, the spacing is more. Oh, yeah. Hey, Shubhankar, I get it. By the way, did you see the video? I saw the video, but I'm just saying in the middle, this was happening. The level of attention to details and what he works is out of the world, which I can never have. Whatever you do, which I don't have. I mean, imagine you're dealing in numbers. One comma, either or one distance. I think that's where he gets it from. And yeah, these are things I learned. And just to, if we can continue that, through him coming to the software part, there is a very big influencer in India. I don't want to name it off. Like very big, was around 15 million followers, subscribers on YouTube. Okay, he had a startup. He wanted to launch an edtech startup. Okay. That's where Jagdish sir one day called me and said, hey, by the way, look who I met. He sent a picture. I was like, dude, you met him? I was like, yeah. He's creating a startup. He wants me to be an investor. That's awesome. I was like, do you also want to be an investor? I'm like, are you investing? And he said, yes, I am. I was like, sir, Let's go. You are there. I will invest. So invested in that startup. If I tell you the name, will you cut it out?